is a little trick. Clean the lens, and you've instantly got a clearer picture. Well, when I saw, I've got a bit of the COVID weeping, dropping everyone into breakout here. Hello everyone. It's another day and Be Video Confidence show, and today my guest is Carly Hennah. Carly is the founder and MD of Lady PA. Welcome, Carly.
Thank you. I love that credits, the opening credits.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun making that because I kind of scrabbled through all the different bits and pieces of the last few years of lockdown, and it does trace my own increased confidence with video.
It's like a timeline as well.
Yeah. Like, and that bit, I kept the bit in about the video about the weepies, because do you remember that time in lockdown where we were all getting weepy and emotional on camera?
Yes, all a little bit frustrated.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming along today. Now, just to give everyone an overview, today we're going to talk to Carly about how she launched an international personal assistant service online. So it's not a VA, a virtual assistant. She's a personal assistant online, and that is different. That is the real beauty of working with Carly. And the other beauty is that she loves the bits that most people don't like doing, such as admin and organizing. Yeah, you got it. I hate it.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and why not you? So, as Lady PA, you provide a virtual admin, lifestyle and travel support to busy, time-poor SME business owners. So, where have you come from? Your career, you started as a personal assistant and executive assistant to CEOs and MDs in the financial sectors. So high pressure, really intense, really accurate work, both in the UK and Dubai. And then you launched Lady PA Virtual PA Service. So welcome, Carly. And my first question for you, what is a PA? And can you tell me about your career and your industry before the pandemic?
Yes. So essentially a personal assistant is it's like a personal secretary, a personal aide to a specific person who needs daily business or personal tasks support. So that's a general gist. It's all derived from secretary, and the whole term and phrase of it has increased, and there's executive assistants, office manager, chief of staff, PA, VA. So there's a lot of terms, but as a general whole, it's PA is for a specific individual and providing that support in their day-to-day life. And so my career has been from a personal assistant, executive assistant, as well as a bit of office manager. So I've gone through the timeline. But that's been my career throughout my career. And the industry is the financial background. I'm working with, financial insurance companies in the UK and the Middle East. And I was just in employment, so big sort of Western companies essentially is where I was working at, and that's all. I think I worked for a medium-sized company at the beginning of my career, but mainly that background, and then always wanted to do virtual, and it just seemed to happen. But that's before the pandemic.
Yeah. So what was it? I mean, presumably you kept normal office hours, or how much were you on call?
That depends on company, CEO, industry. I think for me, in certain employment companies that I was in, it was very 9 to 5. Some others were out of office. perhaps longer hours. You're on the phone call in the evenings, phone call early in the mornings. So it really, really depends on what kind of job spec it is and how intense it is, and how which director, CEO, MD, director, CFOs, or just team members. It really depends on the role itself. But yeah, I could be working all hours at one point in my career, but at other points it was, from the last bank that I worked at, it was literally 9 to 5. You stop at 5, then you leave for the day. Then they have in then EAs in the evenings. So then there was that balance.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So yes, it varies. So I've gone through all the variety.
But I mean, one of your services is travel. So are you? How does all that work? Because I mean, I've not been an MD of a major company, or CEO of a major company, and the companies I've worked for, sort of HR did the travel.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So how does that work as a PA, focusing on travel for your boss?
Yeah, I think travel is definitely a core skill of an assistant. I think it's one of the, from travel, inbox, calendar, minutes, day to day. It's definitely part of the core. And that depends again with the companies. If it's a bigger company, they normally outsource to a travel agency. So then we're just the gatekeepers between the person and the travel agency. So we work, they would have deals, or they would have, company corporate accounts, or to manage that fully, because it's quite a lot of travel. Pre-pandemic, when I was in employment, it would be traveling every week. I think one of my CEOs one time was just traveling 3 weeks out of the month. So it was constant, and that has to be, it's a lot of time. So even as myself, you do the travel management, logistics, but in order to save even us time, it would have to go through then the travel agency, they book it up, and then we deal with all the logistics around that. But there's a lot of outsourcing. You build up relationships with travel partners, and you manage it. But for smaller companies, I guess, then it is all the PA, which I did before. I do it all. I book the flights, I book the hotels. You gain the relationships in those hotels and restaurants, etc. So done it all to travel agency. Again, it depends, but it's definitely a core part of a PA role, or an executive assistant role.
Yeah. So you're booking all this stuff, you're organising where they're going, what they're doing, and is the interaction face to face or email, or how do you used to interact?
Yes. Well, thinking about what was before, it's quite hard to think about what we were doing. Nevertheless, it was face to face. If you're in the office, then yes, I would normally be sitting very close to my executive. So you do go in and out. This is your itinerary. But when they are traveling, then it's definitely text message, calls, emails. That was the communication. Yeah.
So let's say I'm starting out and I'm really interested in being a PA. What would you say are kind of the attributes that you really have to be? I mean, apart from your one, which is you love the bits that people don't like doing.
Yeah. You sort of have to love that bit if you want to be a PA. I think the core bits is time management for sure. You have to understand how to save someone's time in their day. You have to really look into where are they spending the most time. And then the skills would be inbox management, calendar management, doing the time management on those type of things. No one wants to be scrolling all day, every day through in their emails, or how they're going to manage their day. So we have to figure out a plan. The travel aspect, minute taking, a little bit of business operations, to even HR sometimes that people do. It definitely varies, and it depends on what kind of niche market or a niche PA that you want to become.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, around those core, you definitely have to be organised.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Otherwise, don't do it.
Yeah.
Be productive and just time management. Yeah.
Oh.
And then to transfer that across to clients.
And
Yep.
probably a good listener and a good communicator.
Yes. Yes, you have to be. Because you have to listen to what their needs are. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't listen, then you can't fully help them if you don't understand. So, yes, I agree with you. Definitely a good listener. Yeah.
Yeah. And discreet.
Discretion is key. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Confidential. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Great. So along comes the pandemic, everything
Yeah.
changes.
Mm.
And at that point, you're based back in the UK. My next question is, you then launch Lady PA in October 2020. And when you launched it, what I'm really interested in is, what role did you think that video and video communications would play in your business plan?
Yes. Yeah. But considering I wanted to become a virtual assistant or a company virtually,
Mm.
it's it still would have happened with phone calls. There were, when I think about it, everyone knows the general Zoom, Teams, Meet as their day to day now. But even before that, it was the FaceTime, the WhatsApp calls. If it were more business, Cisco WebEx was a big one. So there was still going to be an impact on how I would use it, but perhaps less of. So it's impacted me in a positive way, where people now have to, it's in their day to day a little bit more, and you've had to almost use it, get to know how to do the Zooms, the Teams, and all of that, and incorporate that in your day to day. So it's definitely escalated the communicational aspect of my business and virtual industry. So yeah, in a big way.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we were chatting, I think yesterday. I'm trying to remember what it was like with Skype. Yeah.
Yes.
I hated it. I
I
hated
know.
it. I used to avoid it.
Yes, yeah, and it's always cracky, and you don't know how to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And stuttery, really stuttery. And
Yes.
you felt sort of quite uncomfortable about being open about things.
Mm-hmm. But that's
Yeah.
changed now,
Mm.
and it's changed in a big way. So for me, it's gone in a positive direction, which has been brilliant. It's scary when you first launch a company in a pandemic, and you don't know which way it's going to go. But it was definitely the right thing for me to do, and a good decision at that time, and it's been working. So the video communication just heightens my business, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Now I've actually got some questions coming through. A comment here from Bill Belly. Has COVID made you busier?
It's a good question. Considering I started when I launched in a pandemic, but I assume that it would have made me busier. I think because people are more aware of virtual assistants, how they can help you. I think it would have done. Yes, I think it has done.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you think it's opened up the market?
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Completely. Yes.
I mean, that's really
100%.
interesting. Really interesting. I've got someone else here. Barbara. Barbara, if you don't do travel arrangements, I can imagine you arrange lots of Zoom calls these days.
Yes, that too. I do. Yeah. A lot of Zooms, a lot of Teams, internal meetings, external meetings, meetings with international clients. Yes, it's all. But that's how people, until you start traveling a little bit more, and business travel, of course, as well, then it is all about the Zoom calls, the video calls. And that won't
Yeah.
really go away. It will just be, it won't go away fully, of course. I think it will stay, for a long time.
Well, we certainly got the skills now, haven't we? So we all
This
know
is
when
it. Yeah.
Zoom, we go, oh yeah, no problem. We
Yeah.
just I mean, for
One
some
click of a
people,
button, let's do a Zoom
yes,
call. Okay,
yeah,
let's go. You know,
yeah.
it's easier now.
Mm.
Mm.
And I was talking to somebody who they found that they're doing their live streaming, and they found that at first people say, I don't know how to watch it, and
Okay.
now it's like, oh, okay, I'll just watch it. You know,
Yes, sure.
that kind of hurdle of like, what is it? It's new. I don't know how to do it.
Mm, mm,
And suddenly people like taking it in the stride. It's become normal.
mm.
Um,
Yeah, definitely normalizing it for sure.
mm,
Yes, I think beforehand, you know, even trying to do Skype, or I was like, oh God, what is this? You know, we're not used to doing the videos. But now at a click of a button, you can just log in, do an invite. There you go. Someone just needs to click open, and then two faces meet.
yeah,
It's a lot easier.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, I find that you can be quite open and personal. Its conversation seems easier, um,
Yes,
and you can
yeah,
explain stuff.
and I think people can be more if you're on the phone. Then yes, you know, you can get to know someone, but on a person, face to face, it sort of gives it more of a personal touch. Some people
Mm,
can be more animated, so they can, you know, express them physically, and you know, it brings about a little bit more personable comms, especially for what I do and how I meet clients. And yes, it can bring about personality.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
people buy from people, so it works. But I have to, you know, be the face.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yes.
We've got a question coming in from here, Bronwyn. People management is a skill too, I imagine.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yes, you have to adjust to each person. So every client is completely different. Everyone has different behaviors,
Hmm.
characters, personalities, how they work. There's so many questions to a person from my point of view, in order to assist them. So yeah, you have to adjust and adapt and learn how they would pick up, uh, and how I can arrange them from, you know, from their traits, because everyone's so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is my personal confession here.
Yeah.
Is I worked with Carly just before Christmas, and I didn't know what a PA did. I was petrified of somebody looking at my inbox. It was absolutely my guilty secret. Um,
You didn't say
and
petrified. Didn't know that.
yeah, I was. I was really, really scared. And I have to say that I think your people management was just fantastic because
Oh, good.
we met online, we
Yes.
had a conversation, and I was able to share it. And I now confess I went down from 3,500 unread emails to
Yeah.
zero.
Inbox zero. I love it.
It was
Yeah.
so painful, so painful. And I unsubscribed so many times. And it was the accountability. I had to look you. If it was a phone call, I would
Mm.
have gone, yeah, I've done it. Yeah, it's done. But
Yes.
the accountability that we had
Yeah.
was fantastic. You know,
And that accountability is different from phone to video completely.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm glad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have been worse if we'd been in the same room and you were looking over my shoulder. I,
Yeah.
I just would have gone, no, not sure about this, and moved the computer. But because we did the share
Mm.
and you could actually look at it and it didn't feel so bad.
Mm.
And I also have to say that thanks to you, um, because I am neurodiverse, and I do have it's something I discovered over lockdown. So I didn't, I was like
Mm.
grappling with all of that. And I thought what was really good is that what you did was, and I didn't realize PAs do this, you got me to do it myself. You
Yeah.
got me to think about stuff. You didn't just say,
Mm.
do this, do that, the other, which is what
Mm-hmm.
I thought a PA did. You asked me the questions, and as a direct result of that, I launched Be Video Confidence Show. So thank you very much.
Amazing.
Yeah, really, thank
No, I
you.
love it, but this is how I like to help. I like to dig deep. You do have to ask these questions to clients. You have to get them to think about how they want their life to be run and how it can become. So it's deep diving into a client. This is the personal touch and So I'm really pleased.
Yeah,
love to hear.
I was really, really impressed with that. So thank you very much.
Good.
Now I've got Barbara has come back. What was the single biggest time-saving activity you can take off your client's shoulders?
That's a good question. Single biggest time.
I would say, I would say know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Not sitting there in the morning like, where am I? What am I doing?
Yeah. Procrastination.
Yeah.
If you can, we procrastinate about 2.5 hours a day. So it's procrastination and distraction is a big thing. So whether that comes from distracting through emails coming in, how long do you waste on emails? When you look at email, do you instantly do it? Probably not. Probably takes you a few times. That adds up. When you wake up in the morning, how long does it take you to motivate to know what you're doing for the day? Do you get overwhelmed by not knowing what's going on? Takes a long time to get into a task because you haven't planned it. So, that's such a good question. I'm joining. I'm going to say inbox and calendar is the biggest thing that I can help a person, because it's how you run someone's life. It's the life of a CEO that I help, not just business, not just personal. It's both. So inbox and calendar will probably be the biggest impact, because that's what you use every day. That's how you plan your day, plan your life, know what's happening, know what you're doing. So I'm going to say that, but I haven't been asked that question before. That's a good one.
I would say, having worked with you, when you suggested that I buy a big planner for the year, and fill it in, and and it was so funny because we had a conversation. And I said, "Well, I've got this beautiful planner, and I don't want to put a mark on it. I don't want it to be wrong."
Yeah, I know.
And
don't want to ruin it.
And it was so great because he said, "Yeah, me too. I know what you mean." And then a week later, I was showing it. I was like, "Look what I've done."
Yeah, just get pen to paper. Yeah. But I love stationery, so I love the big wall. I'm a visual person, so me being dyslexic, I can see things visually, so I need to have that aspect. And I knew you being neurodiverse, that would also help. So it's just, again, it's adjusting to the person. But yeah, get that pen to paper, put all your thoughts down, just get it out of here and down there to focus on other things. So I hope that wall diary is on your wall.
Yeah, it's on my wall.
Great.
Yeah. And you made me put my holidays in, which I never do.
Yes, of course you must. Got to have a holiday.
Yeah. I was always, last minute. Okay, we'll go now. It's not planned. So
you have to put yourself first as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just touched on sort of dyslexia and things, and this is kind of what I find really, really interesting. Is I find that, and I hope you don't mind that we go off piste a little bit here.
No.
Is what I find a real plus working with somebody who's dyslexic or neurodiverse is you check, and double check.
Yes.
Because you self-doubt yourself. You think, have I done it? I just check again, and I just check, and I just check for the spellings. And I actually think a PA who checks and double checks and triple checks like that is worth a weight in gold. I also think that, I'm a media trainer, and I find that I can explain quite complex ideas because you spot patterns in things, and you're an incredibly good problem solver. And I really learned that about you, is that you kind of look at the problem, you go, right, okay, I can see the pattern here. I can see what's happening. Here's a solution. And then you guided me to that solution.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really think that's the strength of what you get working with somebody who thinks in terms of pictures. It
Mm.
complements somebody who doesn't, and gives them a lot of strength and support. So I'm going to big that up.
Yes, no, it's a good conversation to have, because I guess it can bring about a unique aspect to the way I work, being dyslexic. So
Mm,
if that's what I can bring across and that's how it comes across, then I'm pleased about that. So yes,
yeah, I think
it's
it's a
good.
real
Yeah,
plus.
good plus.
Yeah. Now, here we go. Well, we've got Rob Sanderford. Do you find video calls tiring? And if so, do you have a way of combating that?
Yes, yes, because now we're in the COVID, it does get tiring, doesn't it? Um, so the way I deal with that is, yes, video calls, Zoom calls, being on Zoom all day, the Zoom tiredness aspect that we had in the pandemic, it is a thing, and you do get a little bit exhausted from it. But if you are a business owner and you do run your own week, then, for example, I have 2 days where I don't take any calls. So I lay out my week, and I don't want to have calls on one day. Sometimes you just need a few days to rest and do other bits of life and business, and admin, and doing other things, client work. And then between Tuesday and Wednesday, then I take calls. So you can really work around what you want. So that's what I try and tell clients. You've got to design your own week. So if you don't want to be on calls all the time, then you don't have to. You can choose what days you want to do that, spread them out slightly. That depends on what industry you're in, how you run. You might be on calls all day, or instead of video calls, try a phone call, but go for a walk whilst you're on the phone if it's an internal client, or just a general chit chat. So you don't have to be on video every day of the week. It can be, you can arrange not to.
Yeah, that really helped me as well, because we worked through that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have a day where, I mean, each day I've got a theme to my day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really helped me with controlling, the kind of the bookings that I have, and actually book. Again, I learnt that from you, is having the software,
Yes.
so you can give somebody a link, and that triggers off a Zoom meeting,
Yeah.
and then it's coming.
Yes. And then you can block that out to whatever day you want to take those calls on.
Mm.
And then it cuts out the back and forth emails. When are you free? What day are you free?
Yeah, they are, which always cut through other
Which
things
wastes
that you're
time.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go. And Rob again. Have you ever worked with someone who doesn't use technology?
Yes. Yeah. But they're fun to me, because you can instantly help them, or it's immediate help, because you can just go well, after talking through what they need and what is useful to them, not just throwing in systems for the sake of it. But yes, I have, and when they do have these streamlined processes in place, or technology could be anything from a business WhatsApp rather than a normal WhatsApp to a CRM system. So anything really, but yeah.
So
Yeah,
does this mean that you're really up on technology, and you're up on all the different platforms that that could be useful?
I try to be, but it seems like there's a new app every week. So I do get lost a little bit. I don't know everything, of course. But if someone comes to me and, oh, have you heard of this, or can I try this? And I'm not gonna say no. I then go away and learn it, and then come back and then see what I can put into practice. So in a way, it's good for me if I don't know some apps or systems that someone uses, because it might be a different industry of mine, etc., etc. But I'm always fascinated to know what there is out there and how it can
Oh,
be better,
fantastic.
what is better. Yeah.
So I'll be putting down at the bottom, you had to link through to Carly. So if, for example, I'm on LinkedIn
Mm.
and and I've got those kind of questions, what do you think of this or what do you think of that? Is that quite a good forum for you to sort of chat to people or
On
connect with
LinkedIn.
people? Hmm.
Yes, LinkedIn is a good platform for me. Yes, I would use that. I think the main platforms I use for my business is the website, LinkedIn, and Instagram. But yeah,
Yeah,
LinkedIn's
yeah.
a good
Your
one.
Instagram's great, actually.
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
mm. So we got Bronwyn. Do you have people you can call on if you need specific technology or skills? Mm.
Yes, yes. I think for me, for myself and my business, if someone comes to me with a specific request, I would always want to know if I don't know it, I will know someone who does know it. So especially within my industry, our community as PAs or virtual PAs, there's always someone that you can fall upon. It's a very talkative, communicative industry, and we all. I have people that I will know someone who can do something always.
Fantastic.
So
So
yeah,
not just you know how to organize travel, but you also know how to organize that technology and the IT skills.
yes, yes,
Wow.
or just help set up someone business systems if
Hmm.
they're new and they don't, because it can be a lot of time wasting just doing or setting up. I get to know about it because it's trying to save someone's time. So I
Hmm.
look into it, and that's how I get involved in the technology because, oh, that could save that time, or that can be linked or integrated in that. So there's all many, many ways. So not just from setting up business systems to travel to booking, someone's restaurant or dinner party or so admin, travel, and lifestyle is and they all fall under that umbrella. So
Ah,
yeah, we do a lot.
it's a fantastic career because it's so much about your network and then sifting and problem solving and you know
Yes.
thankfully you like the organizing bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
but
Goodness.
and you do it in a really enjoyable way.
Mm.
Probably because you
Mm.
enjoy it. But if somebody wants to do a career, it's great because I imagine you don't, there's lots of things you don't expect to have to learn and to know about.
Yes. I mean, there's no job description on how to be a PA. There's no like degree or, this is what you need to know. It's constant, it's transitioning. You have to grow with the society, the economy, you have to grow with what's going on. If you don't, then you kind of get stagnated and yeah, you have to
Mm,
grow with it. Luckily, I
wow.
like to know what's new,
Hmm.
how to increase my skills. If I don't increase my skills, then how am I supposed to help other people?
Yeah.
So you've constantly got to grow and learn. If you're not learning, then what's going on?
Mm. So now, I mean, now you're working with SMEs.
Mhm.
So it's really cruel to say what's your ideal client, but how do you like working with SME? It's a different, it's different. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, considering I was in big entities
Mm,
to SMEs, it's a big change, but what I wanted. You can help someone a lot faster than if you're in a PA or an executive assistant in a company in a big
hmm.
entity. For me personally, but I like it. I work with individuals, so business owners, so you can impact and make a bigger impact and help them more. Well, you can help them immediately, really. Um, yes, I like the I don't know
Mm.
why, but I prefer it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it's also sort of, SMEs, it's things, you're right, things can happen much more quickly. There's fewer people to sign off on something.
Yes. Yes, especially that. Um, if you're in a big company, then it could be a lot of procedures to go through. But that one business owner can make that decision right, yes or no, there and then,
Mm.
essentially. But yeah.
And you're adding to the success of the business, very much
Yeah,
so.
so yeah, we just want to help. them achieve their goals faster. That's all I'm trying to do.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're just getting to the end, the last question that I have. If anyone else has got any questions, please drop it into the comments. We'll definitely get to them. So my last question is, what are your plans for 2022 and the role that video communication will have?
Yes. 2022, I like to do like a word of the year. So my word of the year is grow. So I want to just continue growing in my skills, continue growing in the business. I want to have more team members, lady PA team members, so I can help more people. The aim is to help as many individual business owners as possible in the UK and Dubai or the Middle East. So just growing. And yeah, the video aspect, communication will only increase. It will just still be a part of my industry, how I work, from the customer journey to helping them as a client. That will stay the same. So the video aspect is very, very important to my business and industry. So yeah, that needs to stay the same.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's it is really incredible the way it's transformed and changed. Not just no travel anymore, but actually, I felt that it made it a very personal experience.
Yes, yeah, you can. It's more personal than if it were pre-pandemic, I guess, because people are used to it. And also, if I want to help a client online, then they can show me via Zoom or there's TeamViewer, for example, that you can access their computer like themselves. So it helps me do my work faster if I need to. You can see from their screen, so we can get all their passwords and we can do the background work and help. But if you're on Zoom or any video communication, then you can share your screen. I can then gain access to the computer, and then we can work together on a few aspects of or how they need me or how I can support them. So that also transfers as a lot more in-depth work that we can get done via video, not just via phone call or than before. So it really, really is a positive impact for me.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to me today and really give some fantastic insights into what it is to be a PA and being able to work internationally, which you do, and virtually and personally. So thank you so much, Carly.
Thank you very much, Shola.
And the word is grow. Definitely.
The word is grow.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I will see you definitely soon.
Yes.